The government shutdown, one thing is bipartisan. It's the other side's fault, folks. But who really stands to lose and gain in this situation? Bob Beckel, former Democratic campaign manager, co-host The Five at 5 o'clock, and Brad Blakeman, former deputy assistant to President George W. Bush. Gentlemen, good morning to you. Good morning. Brad, who is to blame?
Well, eventually Democrats. I think initially everybody will get some blame, but as Obamacare gets implemented or not implemented, as we're seeing today, websites don't work. The youth of America is going to be they're going to be faced with a bill they can't pay, Bill. And not only that, they have an out. They're going to pay a fine instead of paying for health care, which means less people are going to be paying in. So the longer Obamacare goes along, the more validating it is going to be for the Republicans who stood up against a system that does not work. If the Democrats were smart, they would have taken the Republicans' idea, and that is, for the individuals, give them the same break you gave businesses.
Well, now, this is very interesting, Bob, because the clock's running. So we're about to see whether or not you're right, Beckel, or whether you're right.
Well, let me just say, Brad, that I have a cousin 5 times removed who couldn't get tow insurance this morning, and it just goes to show you the Obamacare thing just doesn't work. In fact, I think we ought to just impeach the whole thing. Now, listen, the fact is you guys grabbed defeat out of the jaws of victory. You had Obama on the run, you had us on the run, and what do? You don't even go back and look at your history. Not only you had the independents on your side, and now 5-1, independents think Republicans should be blamed for this shutdown. What are you doing? I mean, if you have a shovel digging a hole that deep, give me the shovel.
Well, Bob, look, again, initially I said there's going to be enough blame to go around, but as Obamacare does not pan out to be what the president promised it to be. We know that's true because the president himself said Obamacare is not ready for prime time. He exempted businesses. Individuals now are confused. They don't know what their obligations are. And when they're trying to sign up today, what do they get? Websites that don't work. As Obamacare gets implemented or not, the blame is going to go to Democrats. Republicans are going to say, we told you so. And I think at the end of the day, you guys were banking on the Tea Party being marginalized for 2014. I think you did us a huge favor.
You know, Brad, I have to say this to you, buddy. That was a really good effort on your part. And it was as good a spin as you could do this morning.
Well, Bob, what he's saying is they want to demonize the Tea Party, and this is all part of it, so you set yourself up for an election a year from now.
They're demonizing themselves.
Is he right about that or not?
Well, wait a minute. No, I mean, the Republicans, the storyline here is the Republican Party split. There are a number, this thing's going to end, and it's going to end within a week or two, and what's going to happen is that the moderate conservative Republicans are going to break off like they did on the last budget issue, and they did on a number of other things with the Democrats, and you're going to get a clean continuing resolution. And the problem that the Republicans have got here is they, for example, said, we're passing, but we want to have a conference to discuss this. They've had a year when they refused to have a conference on the budget.
They passed 3 bills in like 18 hours.
I know, but I'm saying they had a budget. They had their own budget, and the Democrats had a budget.
Let me go back to Brad's point here, and I want to get you both in on this, okay? Because what the left will do to the right is say, you guys are crazy. You know, you're extremists. I mean, the same thing happened in 1995. I mean, Mike McCurry was working for the Clinton administration back then. He said, we said it all the time until it finally sunk in that was the extreme side. And here was the tweet that came out from the president last night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. A group of extremists in the House is hours away from shutting down the government. Tell them enough already. Brad, does that work?
No, it's not going to work because, again, the validating point for the shutdown is going to be that Obamacare doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for Bob. It doesn't work for the unions who supported it. It doesn't work for businesses. So the president unilaterally amended his own law by exempting businesses. All Republicans were saying is, if it's good enough for business, it's good enough for individuals. We know Obamacare is not ready for prime time. Don't take my word for it. The president said it. So why didn't the president have an easy out, Bob, and say, okay, the individual mandate will be matched to the business mandate, and we'll have a continuing resolution. But, Bob, I will tell you something right now. There will not be a CR agreement without a debt ceiling agreement because it's too close together, and we're not going to fight one battle just to fight another one a few weeks away. So the real battle is coming up, and you guys are really in a mess because the president needs to lead on this, and he hasn't led to date.
10-1-13, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I will just say this to you, pal. In the long run, you could turn out to be right, but right now, you are trying to turn chicken stuff into chicken salad, and it ain't working. The American people are blaming the Republicans, and they should, and there are extremists in the Republican Party that are responsible for it that John Boehner cannot cannot control. You know it, and I know it. If it were up to you, Brad Blakeman, you would have this. You would have this deal done by last night before midnight easily.
Well, look, you can't negotiate against yourself. When the president is out on the golf course and not meeting on the weekend and allowing the Senate to meet on Monday, there is no negotiation.
Gentlemen, we wonder how long this will last. That's our next topic next time.
Very
and there will
good.
be a next time. Bob, see you at 5 o'clock.
There'll be another time, yeah.
Talk to you soon.